Now, did everybody absorb as much as they could the last time from Dr. Valentine? She had to be cut short because we lost some time. But we should have everything up and running on time tomorrow. So please follow us where we have to go, which will give them their address to where we're going to be. And if you think what I'm going to review is very important, the cancer rates, the sickness rates, the diseases, the immediate physical ailments that we're going to be all plagued with is going to be something you're going to have to deal with even in your own metaphysical minds. So if you're thinking about just dealing with the metaphysics that I'm teaching it, know too that the other half of the physical that goes with the metaphysical, that is just as important. Because your child doesn't know metaphysics. If you don't know what to do with your child or for your child, what's good is your metaphysics. So I ask that you pay very close attention to the teachings that Dr. Nalani had to speak about, because they may be something that you have to deal with more in your left brain, but surely it's for your right brain as well. And with that said, we're going to move forward to a topic that automatically gets people to listen. I can't get them to listen to anything about their health. I can't get them to listen to anything about their spirituality. But as soon as I talk about fucking, everybody gets it. Why? Because essentially, that is the universe. We may call it all kinds of derogatory names. We may have words like sex and coupling and intercourse and all of this. All of this is essentially the expression of the Creator. What we have done to it in our own minds, that's the hell that we've created for ourselves. That's the way that we have taken a gift and turned it into our own cancer, our own pyre. But it wasn't us. Because everywhere you go around the earth and you see dark peoples, we love to have sex. We love children. We had many children, so you know we love to have sex. But when the Caucasoid, and I know you've never heard of Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, and all of her particular kinds of how the European scientists have been psychoanalyzing black races and giving us the worst end of it because of his own psychosis, his psychasthenia, and projecting what his sickness is upon the rest of the races. So his sickness and his disgust and his lack of attention based on lack of melanin to the sexual nature and the beauty that sexuality is, and the fact that he had lost the color in his skin, which was that particular part of the Bible that spoke about, and they knew they were naked. That became a kind of a psychosis. When the European began to hate his body, we began to hate our bodies as well. So when you had the church and all of that kind of sickness, have our women wearing clothing and covering up in places where it's hot as hell, and Islam coming up to do the same thing to our women, covering them down and making the human body some kind of sinful apparatus that you happen to be walking around in. Well, I have never had any problem. I was raised in the West Indies. Stayed naked till I was 7 or 8 or 9 on the beaches. Didn't give a damn. Bathed naked in water. Was buried naked at the age of 7 or 8 years of age. When I was given my head in Obia at 7. So my body was something that I was free with. I didn't have that until I came here. And I learned Christianity and Islam and all the rest of those, which are not our religions, only bastardized versions thereof our own spirituality. So I had written, or I'd studied many books on sexuality, Tantra, and the one by the Dravidians, what's the name of that one that everybody loves so much of? Kama Sutra. And this, I guess, would have been a pornographic book back then. But it wasn't pornographic. It was something that was passed along to kings. They taught the kings, because if a king had 12 wives, he'd be dead in about, what, a year? If he didn't know what to do. Because essentially the secret was to, the strength of the king represented the strength of the nation. if you had a king that was drained of his power, then you had a nation that was drained of its power. So, again, one of the things that they took from us is the fact that the whole universe is polygamist. But don't tell black people that today, because we're so Christianized and we're so independent and we're so advanced that we forgot about the fact that our ancient ancestors had this culture for over 150,000 years. But as soon as the Caucasian comes along and creates some kind of anathema called feminism, boom! I'm independent of my own self and my culture. Forgetting that the reason why the polygamy was part of that was not because men just like to have it and that's it. If that's what we degenerated to, then yes. Then that's a sickness in men. But first and foremost, there are more women that are born towards the ending of a consciousness cycle than men. And when there is stress, more women are born. This is a proven scientific research. The fact of the matter is today, they tell you that they have more men than women, and that's a lie. The reason is, we're most of us in jail, we're dead, going homosexual, going crazy. And men are insane today. I'll give it up. We're out of our minds. And until we get our minds straight, women are going to stay out of their minds. And they'll stay away from us. If we're not ready to die for a cause, women won't follow us. If you're not ready to stand up as a man, what do you expect from a woman? Problem is, we don't know what the identity is anymore. Those identities that were given to us, handed down by ritual, by rites of passage, we don't know who we are anymore. We are, what? Doctors. You say, hello, who are you? Well, my name is so-and-so, and I do this. What do you do? You do this. You're a human doer now. You ain't a human being anymore, you're a human doer. We define ourselves through what the Caucasian society has told us. This is who you are. So now our women are pursuing careers rather than pursuing families. Pursuing families is out of the question. That comes later. You get your career first. Not realizing that in the ancient of days, your most fertile time between 16 and 25 years of age is when you had your babies. After 24, 25, you could pursue yourself and do whatever you wanted to do in the society. Raise yourself along that line. But what you've done is given back to the planet. You've raised a generation. You were fruitful and you multiplied. And you were given the benefits, the respect, because you were a parent. We don't have that anymore. We can talk about sex because we're going to talk about sex. But what is sex if the brain ain't attached? It's whoredom, prostitution. It's people going fucking crazy. You see what I'm saying? So yes, I'm going to speak about sex, but I'm going to speak about what they did to sex and what you have done to sex and why sex now has become a pyra. Why the ruling class hates sex and makes you want to hate sex. Because they know they can't control the population growth. Especially for people of color. People of color make babies like that. But today, you don't. Today you're busy looking good. Today you're busy becoming a CEO. Today you're busy chasing a dream. A dream they tell you you should be having from the time you're 7 years of age. Conditioning you. Telling you what it is that you necessarily must become in order to feel good about yourself. You don't even know who you are, so you feel good about being something they tell you you should be feeling good about. Okay, so we've now established that. What has happened to us interpersonally as a people? Why is it that some of us, today you're busy chasing a dream they tell you you should be having from the time you're 7 years of age. Conditioning you, telling you what it is that you necessarily must become in order to feel good about yourself. You don't even know who you are, so you feel good about being something they tell you should be feeling good about. Okay, so we've now established that. What has happened to us interpersonally as a people? Why is it that some of us right now are listening to me and some of us are just hearing me? Some sisters are already made up their mind. Some brothers want me to get to the point. I'm not going to jump into the point because essentially, unless you understand where the point comes from, what are we doing here except just exercising that other part of your brain that ain't got nothing to do? There are a lot of things I'm going to say here today that are not popular. I've always been in trouble with the feminists, and I celebrate that every day. I have been at war with them since I knew who they represented and what they represented. Because I understood the history of it, and in my book, The Wounded Womb, I break them down, ace, deuce, and trey. I showed how that slime oozed its way into the civil rights movement and into your culture. And that after they killed the king and the prince, Martin Luther and Malcolm X, there was no one else to ascend the throne of manhood, and then feminism came in and became the man for your woman. Because feminism began teaching the black woman everything she knows today. Feminism put up your icons for you. First, Whoopi Goldberg. And then, Queen icon. Harpo Marx herself. Oh, don't talk about Oprah. She's all right. Oprah had it hard. Oprah brought herself up by the bootstraps. Oprah's a billionaire and you're hating on her. No. She's the most useless piece of flesh right now broadcast to your mind. She has not given anything to black society except how many things you could buy from white society. Oprah Winfrey is rich because she keeps you happy to be the black woman that you are. Right now. Because all laws that you are dealing with are from the black codes of Roman law. So everybody wants to know, well, how can I make my sex better? Well, the first thing you got to do is to remove all of the impediments to the love that must accompany it. And you can't love one another if you don't know what the hell is going on in your life. Really going on in your life. I'm not talking about the job. I'm not talking about your mother-in-law. I ain't talking about the lack of money. I'm talking about the cause of all of that. That's the problem. We are not looking at causes. We look at effects. And we live on effects. So they can tell us anything in the Daily Blues. And you believe it. For instance, you believe that terrorists blew up your train station. Well, you know, I'm being facetious. You believe that on the very day they were supposed to sign legislation to further the Patriot Act in America, that 4 dud bombs go off over here. And these are not coincidences. We are cattle. And cattle-minded people are just breeders. They don't know how to make love. That is why I'm starting it with this, to show you that you're a breeder. You ain't got a damn thing to do with sex or making love. You're just getting tension off, and you just happen to get pregnant in the interim. You don't know what lovemaking is. You don't know what exploring each other's body is. You don't know what a lingam or a dick is. You don't know what a yoni or a pussy is. You only have an idea or a faction in your brain of what you think it is. You have all the colloquials. Of course, we're all adults here. Are any children here? No, I'm not talking about little ones. So I hope you're not offended by words, because these are not my words. They're cracker words. I have my own language. I have another way of communicating to you. But I'm telling you right now, you don't know what lovemaking really is, because you can't even look into the face of the one you love and understand the true spirit of the person you're looking at. And I'm first to blame, first to take the blame as males. We don't look past that. We're just looking at that beautiful, beautiful black behind that the Most High God in its wisdom decided to give to you all. Thank you, Creator. That's the first thing that we notice. And guess what? That's the first thing you know we notice. Because in all of your dances, you make sure we know that this is where I rule from. My womb rules. Yes, it does. Because from 1 to 7, you shape my mind. But after that, the man comes along and shapes my mind. But there's no man after that. So now you got to do overtime as a woman. See the little things that get in the way of knowing what true love and tantra is? How are you going to put all that aside when you got to come back to that right after the most blissful sex? Then you got to deal with that same crap over and over again. That's because you've made it part of your reality. Now, I'm going to be targeting a lot of the things to the sisters, because right now, this is the time when they've been empowered. Sisters have been given a lot of power, perceptual and actual. And a lot of women hate me for actually saying this. Is what am I jealous of it? No. I have no threats. I don't feel any threats from my queen, my sister. I fear nothing. The only thing I fear is when my mother calls on the phone and starts blessing me out about forgetting something. Okay, I got it. But fear? I don't fear anything. I can't fear anything. What's the sense? Who's gaining by my fear? Who gains by my fear? I don't. That's the one thing that you do that takes away from you. Doesn't give a damn thing back. It takes it all from you. So, as far as me talking, today I'm going to be talking about love, but I'm also going to target the sisters. Why? Because there are things that you all have to start doing. You all have to reclaim your womanhood once more. If you don't reclaim it, then it's over. Brothers, if you don't reclaim your manhood, if you don't start looking for the backside of another man, if you don't stop trying to be a woman, it's over. All right? So with that, we're going to move forward as far as lovemaking is concerned. The first thing I want to get people to understand is that something has died in us. Morpheus asked, what is real? The human mind, because now you're useless. You've become a human doer for that society. There's no more war mentality, no more war footing, no more sex because we have to create children for our society. It's sex, finish, have the baby, hand it over to somebody else to raise while I pursue my career. This is the new society. And of course, the white woman has always been your teacher. I guess that's the music in the background for me. The white woman has always been your teacher from the time the white man had taught you as a sister and me as a brother to fear him. Willie Lynch and the protocols of Willie Lynch has caused us to become separated from one another. We don't respect the boundaries of man and woman anymore. We expect others to fear him. Willie Lynch and the protocols of Willie Lynch has caused us to become separated from one another. We don't respect the boundaries of man and woman anymore. We expect women to be men, and we expect men to be women. Oh, get to your female side so that you could understand me. Hell no. I don't want to know my female side. My female side sits before me. I am the male side. And to know me is just as complicated as me getting to know you. But today's society expects us to think like the female because she is more pliable in her resolve to adapt, which is her nature to do, so that we could survive. That nature now has been exploited terribly, so that now men, little boys in school, must now learn to sit like little girls and learn like little girls, or else they are regimented into special classes where they are drugged for being boys. And you see, the sisters today, and this is a part of it, because I'm going to get on the brothers too, but the sisters today are more personally involved in themselves because that's the nature of the woman. If it ain't personal, I ain't dealing with it. Women take things personally. Men deal with things impersonally. That's why you can't talk at times. Men want to solve your problem. You got a problem? Well, let me solve the damn problem. What is it? Do this, do this, do this. What's the problem? No, you don't understand. You don't understand me because you don't think. There you go. You think you know everything. No. You asked me a question. You wanted me to help solve your problems. You came to me, and as the man, my nature just goes to making sure you're all right. What's the problem? Well, I don't know what the problem is. You see, because I need, as a woman, to keep talking until I know what the problem is. And you're listening to find things in my words to solve my problems. And I don't want you to solve my problems right away. I just want you to listen. Is it that easy? Yes. I have stayed on the phone for a half hour with my clients, females, haven't said a word. And then at the end was given all these accolades for what a wonderful person I am. That's the nature. It's a beautiful nature. It teaches language. It teaches our children. This is the interfacing part of the female dynamic. It's the communal dynamic. It is the part that makes me want to come out and start talking. Language is developed because the female just has to talk. She has to keep continuing to talking. Men, we'd rather not say nothing. It's all right to talk. Today, we talk like women. We gossip. All of us gossip. Men used to just be, okay, it's cool to be with you. Yeah, cool? Right. See, too much talking while you're out there in the woods or you're hunting, can't do that. Too much talking keeps you from figuring out problems. As the man, you're supposed to figure the problem out, boom, or else it's life and death. That's it. I ain't got no time for emotions. Do this! But what do you mean? I have to know. Do it! Why? Because our nature is to know the danger. Our nature is to protect you. Our nature is to die for you. And guess what? We don't have our nature anymore. Too busy wondering about the Timberlands we're going to be wearing. And the bling we got around us because we're thinking like females. A man starts worrying about his shoes, work shoes. When his work shoes get scuffed, he throws them away. That's a psychotic man. When work boots get dirty and he don't want to wear them anymore, that's psychotic. Because work boots are supposed to get dirty. When you want to bling and look all pretty, but you ain't doing nothing, you're a pimp. You're not giving anything from society, you're taking it from society. I'm just giving precursors about where we're getting ready to go. The sex part, there's a lot of that in there. But I think that the gender issue is the problem. Men don't know what women want today because essentially women can have anything they want, anytime they want, whenever they want. There's no need for us to problem solve anymore because all you have to do is just hit the internet and go Google. There's nothing to invent anymore there's nothing for me to use the skills that my hardwired body was made together to make your life comfortable, because the Caucasoid, the cracker, has made everything easy through his technologies. And the reason why you don't see my masculine dynamic in action anymore is because the information age is here. The knowledge age is gone. You see, the knowledge age is masculine. The spiritual age is masculine. The feminine age is material. And everybody's saying, well, we're living in a patriarchal society. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. I don't care what the teachers have spoken about. We are in a perverse matriarchy right now. The men front it. But we are in a matriarchal mindset because materialism rules. It's a perverse matriarchy because what we look at as what is valuable is gone. It's a perverse matriarchy when we think that Africa was a maternity or a matriarchy. No, it wasn't. Africa was not a matriarchy, because if it was, it would have looked like this. Africa was a paternal society fronted by women. Let me say that again. The reverse is here. You got a matriarchy fronted by homosexual men. And you're watching the dynamics of the hive come into play. Now, your queen. Who's she married to? Prince who? Prince Philip. Now, I want to ask a question here. How in the hell do I marry a queen and still stay a prince? When she could marry a king and become a queen. Let me ask you that question again. If we are not in a matriarchy, how is it that she's still queen and her man is still a prince? Because I don't care how many drones that the queen flies with and screws, she stays the queen and he stays a drone in a matriarchal hive. So you're not in a patriarchy. The feminists are playing you. The Romans are playing you. Because that's what they did whenever the Romans conquered the people. Whenever the Romans conquered the people, they took away the power of the males in the society of the conquered people and resurrected the females to the roles of males. Familiar? We are not under English society. We are under Roman law. It's slowly losing its ability to process the organic. We no longer interface with the real. We no longer breathe the scent of real air, the taste real water, touch real earth, see real clouds, resonate real voices, speak with real words, feel real touch, express and experience real feelings. Because everything that we are experiencing is inside, calculated, synchronized by the matrix. When have you last had an organic feeling? I mean an organic feeling. You can't have sex, make love, and understand tantric sex and tantric science unless you had a real feeling. Because every feeling you have has been mitigated by something you're dealing with in this society. So how could you go to bed with all this shit in your head and expect to really know who you fucking? You see? The Creator always said something to say amen. Truly. Because right after you roll over from one another and you're on the other side of the bed looking up at the ceiling, what are you thinking about? Oh, what I got to do the next day. Where I got to be. Truly. Because right after you roll over from one another and you're on the other side of the bed looking up at the ceiling, what are you thinking about? Oh, what I got to do the next day. Where I got to be. Oh, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with her? We don't come together emptied of all the madness. We don't come real. You don't even have a real taste in your mouth because all of the taste in your mouth is full of the filth and crap you eat. So you're not even the organic human. You're a composite of all the drugs and crap that you put into your system. So how do you even know what you really taste like? They got enough underarm deodorants, and the sisters, boy, they got every half a minute through the television, they got something to make you smell better down there. You want to know why? Because you eat so much crap, you're stressed out so much, you live in a toxic environment, so the vagina is going through twice the amount of work. Why? Because your bowels are so blocked up and clogged with filth. The vagina got to take over work from the bowels. That's why you're stinking. And you know what I'm talking about. Lord have mercy, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you can't even stand yourself, girls. You know what I'm talking about. There's nothing real here no more. One of the true real voices just passed away. And I don't know how he got past all that Kentucky Fried Chicken to give the world such a beautiful voice. Luther. The real, brothers and sisters, is gone. Everything real is dying out, including the love. So what we do, we have to first understand what it is. And I know, if I'm not mistaken, that Queen might have gone over some of what we're going to get ready to get over right here, go over right out in the metaphysical realm. But in the cosmic distillation of gender, you go from the unknowable, that which you can't even process your brain, stretch nothing of the imagination, to try to bring it into any circumference, to try to encase the unknowable. Because to try to know something, you have to first embrace it. And there's no way to embrace the unknowable. So you just know that it is, and just let it go at that. But you can understand the unknowable from the consciousness that you have of yourself. And what that consciousness means as you process it, interacting with other life forms every day. And from consciousness, you deal with mind. The mind now seeks validity for itself and becomes the I am. Now the I am, condenses even further into what we know as wave. And tomorrow we get ready to get deep. So I suggest don't eat, because tomorrow between Queen and myself, we're taking you all the way out in metaphysics. This is just the first stage. From yin and yang, from wave and particle, you get the yang and the yin. From the yang and the yin, you get electric to magnetic. From the electric to magnetic, you get male to female. Male to female, you get man to woman, and husband and wife. And then, from the distillation of gender, you get the prototypical family. Prototypical family, as brother said, is masculine principle, feminine principle. You don't get a masculinized female and a feminized man to forward the work of the Creator. It don't work. Now, how you say a biological action is supposed to define me as a human being. It doesn't define you as a human being, the act. Who you are in the representation of the polarity that maintains harmony and equilibrium, that defines you as a human being. And when you find equilibrium in each other, then the baby that comes out is balanced, ain't crazy. You've heard of the word I am. Nobody knows what I am means, but the word I am essentially is broken down into two aspects already. Male and female. It's broken down. When you say I am, that I am. I is always masculine. Me is feminine. Let's just get that straight. The I principle is masculine, which is impersonal. The me is feminine, which is personal. Once you understand that psychology, then you understand what motivates the masculine and feminine behavior that you're dealing with every day. Now, it's masked because we have certain protocols that we're constantly doing. You know, we have to adjust. This is the work protocol. Well, the office protocol. And we're dealing with business here. This is just business. And we're talking back and forth. And we learn the language. We even like to speak like them a little bit. But when you get past all of that nonsense that the cracker gives to you to play with, he plays you back on yourself. Because all of the language, as the language mutates, he puts it into his dictionary. And you mutate it because you put the spirit back into the word. And he knows that. You're a creator. He's just he's a vendor. He's a vendor. There's nothing spiritual ever came out of Europe. You name one goddamn thing that came out of Europe that had anything that's spiritually attached to it. There's not one thing spiritual. And I'm saying that, and I dare, if you know a cracker that could defy me or say it, bring him on. Because the cracker has gotten everything spiritual from out of Africa and people where people's a dark hue are. He doesn't know spirituality because the cracker cannot think abstractly. Abstract thought is beyond him. That's why he's religious. And he got you all thinking the same way. Religion is away from abstract thinking. And the problem is, abstract thinking is masculine. Let me say that again. I don't know if you heard me, because I'm supposed to have heard a big moan. Abstract thinking is masculine. Computer thinking is feminine. That's why you run the computer age. That's why women run the information age. Brothers, men, are supposed to go into their minds and solve problems with their abstract thinking, and through abstract thinking create knowledge. After knowledge has been created, women make information from it. Men are problem solvers. Women take problems, solve a solution, and create society with it. My God, I've solved problems. Let me say something to you. In this age of women's equal opportunity to do pretty much everything she can, do you know that all of the new inventions over the last 35 years of feminism, even though women are now enjoying much more power, quote unquote, let me just rephrase that. Even though women have been given certain stations of activity that look like power, do you know that 90% of all of the inventions, new inventions, still coming out with the opportunity over the last 35 years to create, 45 years to create inventions, are still primarily male? Well, see, that's the education. They don't teach us mathematics or nothing like that. Bullshit. Y'all don't want to learn mathematics because it's not who you are. It's not who you are. And I'm saying, well, doesn't mean, just because I'm saying it's not who you are, I'll show you I can do that. Yeah, well, shit, I can wear a skirt. But that don't make me a woman. You can give a woman the same opportunity, and of course you could train her, but guess what? Guess what? When a woman becomes academically inclined and goes to school to get all her PhDs and high in academia, and I have achieved bachelorette this thing, that, who you are. And I'm saying, well, Doesn't mean, just because I'm saying it's not real, I'll show you I can do that. Yeah, well, shit, I can wear a skirt. But that don't make me a woman. You can give a woman the same opportunity, and of course you can train her, but guess what? Guess what? When a woman becomes academically inclined and goes to school to get all her PhDs and high in academia, and I have achieved bachelorette this thing, that, watch what they look like. 99% of them got beards. Heavy mustaches. And they get, you want to know why? Because, sisters, you're not supposed to be reading. Oh, hell, now I done did it. That's right, officer. Why not? Because you didn't need to read. You were the carriers of our information. You were the griots. You passed the information of the societies down to the generations. Reason why is because when you start reading, you fuck up your estrogen. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? Overuse of the eyes, focusing in on two-dimensional figures, trying to create three-dimensionality out of it, causes you to use up more and more of your vitamin A, and vitamin A is essential to integrous estrogen. Which is why you see women who are very highly academic got all this growing beard down around them. The voices are kind of low like this. Because that was man. The problem is, though, brothers, the Caucasian society being feminized reads from left to right. Which makes it harder for the male to read because our orientation is from right to left. And that's why the Eastern countries still do that. Because they're still patriarchal, quote unquote. And that's what that war is over there. To destroy the last remaining vestiges of matriarchal rule, because that's an independent society. Independent societies are ruled by men. Autonomous societies ruled by men. Understand that if a female is ruling a society, or a feminist mindset is ruling a society, it's a hive where the individual is lost. For the collective, we say, well, that's good. It means all of us working together. But you don't grow. Society begins to die. Because no one person can actually come out of the box to move society in any direction that does not serve those who rule the society. And we are here right now towards the end. And 99, I bet you right now we're going to have a female president of the United States within the next 8 years. And then it's over. Because Big Sister is going to take over. Hillary Clinton and the rest of those females in her hive. Oprah being one of them. Because we're going to get to her. We're going to get to Harpo. But I'm saying to you that I am. Meaning I am. I am. And the way that I continue is through there. See, that's what the women got on us, brothers. They're taught very early that the womb is where we want to get back to. You come out in 9 months, like they say, and spend the rest of our lives trying to get back in. Right? Isn't that the truth? Trying to find, we lie, steal, hook, crook, just to get back in. Why? Because that is our place of rest. Truly, people don't, and it's another thing that women don't understand. When a man wants to have sex with you, you say, you don't show me you love me. That's the way we show we love you. Sex is the way a man shows he loves his woman. And women say, oh, come on now, that's enough now. I want something else. Show me you love me the way I would want you to show you love. So again, that's where we're going to get ready to go as far as the communication is concerned. We've got to get things out of the way so we can understand what kind of platform we're working on and why it is that there's so many blocks to true love between males and females. The I am is the male and female, the phallus, the womb, the father, the mother, the fecundity, fertility, vitality, incubator, virility, nurturer, active, passive, intuitive, instinctive, instinctive intuition, intent. And brothers, you ain't getting nothing without consent. We bring the intent because we sure enough are intending. And only when you give us the consent. And that's the beauty of what it is that we're dealing with. But here I am right here, brothers and sisters. Here we are. What do we have? Brothers, let me tell you something about yourself. A lot of the problems we have with ourselves. The problem with us is that we can't see past all of this. Because this is all the society has given us to survive with. The part of the male that feels comfortable with his masculinity is no longer there because we're constantly threatened by our macho. You think you know it all. You think you're this. Yes, I do. And because you are angry or you got some kind of agenda, excuse me, mother, against your man who left you with this baby, you're going to take everything out on this poor baby. And the boy is raised according to your anger, your frustration, and he don't know who he is, and this is who he becomes. Lazy, brutal, selfish, dependent, insensitive, intimidating, stubborn, lack of responsibility, and above all, tyranny. And we can be good at these things because we can escape away from the fact that we don't have power as males here. I don't give a damn what 50 cents and how they build him up. He's a nigger. A good nigger. A good house nigger now. They took him off from the plantation, made him a good house nigger. Put clothes on him so that you'd buy the clothes he's wearing. Russell Simmons, good house nigger. P. Diddy, or P. Diddle, another good house nigger. All of them girls. You hear what I said? All of them girls. And all of the people that are now leading your children, all faggots. All of them. But you like them because they're hard and they just all they got to do is this. And you think they got a dick. The problem is, this is all we have left ourselves with as men. Brothers, the one thing we have to do right now is to remove ourselves from the mentality that we've been carrying. We have to take an inventory of the way we think, not only about ourselves, but what the rest of the world makes us think we think. That's a problem right now because we never think anything's wrong. I got it. We're never trained. No rites of passage to know that when you come to assume the responsibility of a family, that you know what to do. You learn it from the streets, you learn it from books, you learn it from movies, and then you think you know. But this is what we got left. Here's what we have to go for. No, I'm not going to give you that yet. I'm going to give you the females. Because y'all can't get away. Here's the negative manifestations of the female. Come on, girls, unfold your arms. Don't get like that. Disloyalty. And don't tell me about loyalty. I'm going to tell you what you're loyal to and only. Brothers, listen carefully. Listen carefully, listen carefully. Brothers, if you want to be happy, understand this one salient point. A woman is faithful. A woman is faithful to only one thing. Can anybody tell me what that is? And don't tell me her man, because I ain't even stop.
Herself.
No.
Kids.
woman is faithful. A woman is faithful to only one thing. Can anybody tell me what that is? And don't tell me if I'm mad, because I ain't even stop.
Herself.
No.
Emotion. Feelings.
Say it loud.
Feelings.
Her own feelings.
Someone said chocolate.
Well, what do you think chocolate does? It gives you feelings. My brothers, I don't care what you do. If you do not get her feelings to remain faithful to you, she's gone. Body's there, she's gone. And she is looking for every distraction that will bring the feelings that she's looking from you to get. A woman is feelings. She's not thinking. So don't try to reason. Listen. And eventually she'll get to the point. She's feeling. She's pissed. Don't try to be logical. She's feeling. She's not articulating this. She sounds logical to herself. But to you, it's like, what? What? A woman's feelings will make her abandon you. She is nothing more than her feelings, and she is nothing less than her feelings. And brothers, if you don't know that, you can't have a happy relationship. You cannot make a woman do something by intellectualizing your point to her. You have to say the words that will move her in the deepest part of her. And then you have somebody there at your side. So you must move your woman from her feelings, not from her intellect. If you try it from the intellect, you're lost. Disloyalty, a woman will shift her attention and loyalty in a minute. Because by her nature, she has to become dependent on something to have the sense of security that she needs to feel that she can move forward in her life, to do things in her life. The problem is that we brothers can't give the things all the time that would make the woman feel comfortable and secure. So half the tension has to do with the brother's frustration at not feeling like a man providing the things that she needs, and she not feeling secure enough for herself and her child. And even though she loves him, and even though he loves her, that gnawing feeling, the basic, essential, grounding, foundational, magnetic, electric energy of that energy being the provider and the protector versus the nurturer and the teacher. Those two go into balance. If they go into balance because they are two providing, they feel good about themselves and they're doing the right thing no matter how poor they are, they have a beautiful relationship. But if they do not understand the dynamics of how this society controls you by cranking up your fear, especially in the woman, because you see, the brothers can actually deal with that fear thing. They themselves are wired for fear. Because immediately we can either go to stash, we can go to blows, we can find out what it is, we know what it is, we got a little training, we're ready to protect. But if they screw with your woman, you don't got no defenses. Because if she's unhappy, if she feels bad, she's going to let you know it. If she don't let you know it, you're going to feel it from her. And in your whole house, everything starts crumbling. So a woman will leave and say to you today, and this is the problem with relationships, because there's no man in the house. There's a male in the house, but no man in the house. You think that you're equal to him. Now, I ask the sisters, if you're going to pick a man, aren't you picking him for his intelligence, his ability to lead, his ability to at least try to provide for you? Is that what you're looking for? Yes. Then, when you pick the man that you think you got, you know the one that you get up on the girl. I don't know. What did he say? Well, tell me what he said. Did he say it this way? No, girl, you gotta wait. No. Wait till he says it this way. Listen, brothers, if you think you are not being talked about constantly, you need to walk down the street behind 15 and 16-year-old girls. Just walk behind them. The conversation is about nothing else but boys. They are analyzing every move, every word, every gestic. What did his shoes look like that day? You are being picked apart. You are being analyzed from your head to your toe. Everything about you. She's looking at you. Everything about you. She wants to know everything about you. Because you see, your weaknesses, your weaknesses are her strengths. Because they'll use them against you later. She'll know how to manipulate you. The absolute monarch at manipulation. The CIA learned everything it did from watching women. Know that if you do not understand what motivates the essential core nature of the partner that you're with, you're not going to be happy. Disloyalty, vacillation. That's all right. You see, that's not a negative. These are not negatives. These are survival representations. Same with us. These are survival imperatives turned inward against ourselves. So you have vacillation. Well, vacillation is that so-called, what's that thing they call about to have multitasking abilities? They can do all these different things. That don't work in the workplace. Because you never get anything done. You'll start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. Nothing gets done. That's why they have to be regimented to one thing and that's it, finish it. Once they get good at doing that, that's what they do. But you have to understand that vacillation and that multitasking is how they raise your child. The ability to be able to know what the baby needs, just like that. To be able to listen on the phone and talk. I'm fascinated when I listen to her on the phone, especially talking to her sister. The conversation is going along. You know, brothers, you want to talk about something, and it's on a point. You want to get to that point and stay on that point until that point is full. You nurse it, you nurture it. Man, you get on a point. I'm talking to a sister, and she asks me a question. Dangerous. Don't think about. Brothers, be prepared. It's like watching Walter Payton, and you know, what's the boy from the Lions? No, who am I talking to? I'm in London. Okay, in football we have some serious running backs. And these boys can stop on a dime and turn completely around, and what you were thought you were tackling is gone. Puff of smoke. This conversation between females is not about trying to get to a point at times. They want to solve problems immediately, yes. But when they're talking to talk, it's not about a point. It's to talk. It's to socialize. We now are talking to you to get to a point. And we wonder why you jumped off the point in the middle of my sentence. You're on to something else. And very comfortable at it. And I'm standing there, wait a minute, I'm not finished. I was saying something. Watch. Listen. That's the way they conversate. That conversation is just there to talk. It's the feeling that they convey. They are conveying feelings, not information, not knowledge. They're conveying feelings. They're expected that when they say something that their girlfriend at the other end is empathetic to what they're saying. And oh yeah, I know. Listen, let me tell you. Here's what happened to me. No, yes, look, I tell you, the same thing happened to me. And you're wondering, well, okay, we got it. You want to get, okay, what did the molecule, what must you do with the molecule for you to get to this point? And did you do, fine, 2 different forms of communication. And now we're going to try to bring them together? What is that nexus that brings those 2 diverse universes? And did you do, fine, 2 different forms of communication. And now we're going to try to bring them together? What is that nexus that brings those two diverse universes together? That's the secret. We're going to get to that. But we first have to analyze, what is it that causes us to not see the other? These are some of the things that the sisters are doing. Disloyalty, vacillation, apathy, indifference, gossip, deceitfulness, carelessness, lack of accountability. Sisters. You see, you're accustomed to having things done for you. And I know it says, well, listen, I'm a black woman, I don't get nothing done for me. No, you know what I'm talking about. There is this, well, I didn't do that. I might have, but no, I didn't really mean that. That's not what it was supposed to be, so you can't blame me. I absolve myself, and you have to as well. Why don't you understand that? Whereas we, as men, when you want to be initiated into manhood, you better be responsible for your actions. Because your actions are life and death. See, with that rod, with that penis, with that lingam, with that weapon of love and life, I bring life. But guess what? My nature is to take it as well. Because I go to war. So, life and death is you. So your decisions can't be about, well, I don't know. Anybody ever seen the Hollywood movie called The Godfather? Anybody? Yeah. Has anybody seen it?
Yeah.
All right. Do you remember the time right before Marlon Brando died playing with his grandson? Do you remember that part? Yeah. Do you remember him sitting with Michael, father and son, talking? And he was saying, just remember, whoever comes to you with the meeting, that's the traitor. Remember that one? Remember? But you remember what he said? He said, Michael, he says, I'm going to try to do like this. He said, you know, he says, you can't afford to make a mistake. So women can make mistakes, but a man, he can't make mistakes. And that stuck with me. I can't afford to make a mistake. Because when I make a mistake, every fucking thing goes to pieces. Everything dies. When you are walking down the street with your man, how are you dressed? Responsibly? Are you dressed because I like the way I feel in these things that have part of my pubic hairs coming out? I told my son when he was dating, and I trained him up real good, I said to my son, you make sure that when you're taking young ladies out, that they're dressed properly. And I had times I told him, I said, you know, who are you going out with? Blah, blah, blah. Bring her here first. He said, what? I said, bring her here. I want to meet her. If she was dressed in a way, I said, amen. I said, young lady, you look very nice, but not for my son. I said, unless you go home and you change, you're not going out. Neither is he. Because you can get my son killed. Protecting your honor and his ego. So you will dress appropriately or you don't go out with my son. See, you don't think about that as fathers anymore. Huh? We think about that for our daughters. Oh, I terrorize my daughters. Oh, that feels so good. What your father didn't teach you, I'm going to teach you. And you know, every now and then I come to the door strapped with my my 357 Magnum. Come to see my daughter. And I'd say, come right in. And I'd be wearing the thing that's like this, and they'd be like, and she says, yes. Ask her. She'll tell you, I didn't play. They had to understand that who they're taking out is a treasure. And if you don't treat it like a treasure, treat her or him like a treasure, then you're messing with me. And then you bring me into the equation. And that's how you have to be with your children. It's good to intimidate the young men because young men understand respect because strength is respect for young men. I can walk in the worst neighborhoods in my neighborhood. Ain't nobody gonna mess with me. The way I'm dressed, who I am, They don't even have to know who I am. Who I am, they'll know. And they want you to step to them, to talk to them about sciences, because that's what they're on the corner doing, breaking down sciences according to the limited amount of light that they've been given. And when you have one or two of them in there dealing with sciences, boom, it's like, wow, oh man, you know this, boom. And they inject that into their knowledge base, into their cultural base. And that's exactly what it is that I ask all the brothers to do. Step to these young boys that look like they don't want to have nothing to do with you. They are begging you in their ways to try to bring them in as men. Because they don't know what a man is. They're trying to find what a man is by their actions. They think because Arnold Schwarzenegger got a big gun and they played it off with, my son is in this movie with 50 Cents now coming out. Get Rich or Die. Or Die Trying. Give me a break. They're raising this icon, this shit on a stick. Anyway, moving right along. Brothers, I want you to deal with this conversation. This is a very interesting thing right here. Women do not really have hurt feeling memory banks. Listen to carefully. Women do not have hurt feelings memory banks. They have hurt feelings manufacturing processes. What does that mean? This is very interesting because remember, the more complicated person is the female. She is more complicated because she does not know who she is until something, some great event fixes her. And then her attention is brought to that point, and her feelings now, based on what she has been given the attention to pay attention to, once she is paying attention to that, her feelings are now around that, and she is feeling around what you have seeded within her. When she sees you, a woman does not know. Everybody says, well, a woman does. So she does. No, she does not. A woman does not know love. She can think about it, talk about it, well, tell me more about it. She can look at 1,000 movies hoping to know what that person on the screen is feeling. But she does not know love until the man comes to her and does something to her that fixes her. And now it's over. She blossoms. Her face changes. Her complexion changes. Her heart races faster. She's saying, oh, this is what they were feeling. Oh, girl, let me tell you. Oh, my God. And everything changes what I want to do with myself. And everything. You are doing that because he fixed you. He was the sun. Through his gravity, put you in his orbit and turned you into an earth that became fertile. You don't know love. They got you saying, well, I create. I am a creator. I have the children. No, you're not the creator. You are simply the incubator of life. You have no control over what's happened. Once that sperm gets into the egg, that body gets taken over like aliens got it. And you ain't got shit to say, except moan and groan when time comes. You're not the creator. And anybody pushing that feminist nonsense on you is bullshit. You are the incubator. You are the one transferring the feelings. You are the ones carrying the genetic information from billions of years ago. That's who you are. You are the dark matter. You are the black mother goddess. Cosmic black mother goddess in flesh. And your purpose is to carry on the will of the Father. Because without you, what does will happen? What happens to will? It dies of its own volition. There is no fecundity. There is no life. So the Creator is two parts of itself. And that, you are the essential part of that. And unless you submit to that, we'll be creating the next generation that's going to kill itself off. And the word submit today, oh my God. Don't even come with it. We will wait for you outside. Submitting? No. I don't want you to submit to the man. I don't want you to grovel. I do want you to rub my feet every now and then. Because I like rubbing yours. Submitting? No. I don't want you to submit to the man. I don't want you to grovel. I do want you to rub my feet every now and then, because I like rubbing yours. I do want you to do the things that women by their nature want to do for a loving man. If you found a loving man, why ain't you just completely prostrating yourself and calling him a king? Because what's he doing? He's treating you like a queen. Do you feel that you're entitled? Why aren't you? Do you get so comfortable with his love that you now just forget how he came to you? Because I know a lot of people come to me. Women are saying, well, after I talked about it, because remember, that she's assigning blame everywhere else but her. A woman cannot afford to take any blame because that's too devastating. To know that something was her fault. Now, I know you're saying, well, no, that's not really real. No, it is. Your psyche is too fragile to know and to say and to admit that you are wrong. And the only when shit comes apart to the point where you can't do nothing else, can't get no other excuses, can't get nobody else to take the weight, you'll take the weight. And don't tell me I'm lying. Brothers too. You don't want to be wrong. Wrong is like, oh shit, I'm no longer king if I'm wrong. How could I be wrong? How could the king be wrong? It's good to be the king. But you have to be wrong. That's how you grow as a man. And sisters, you have to let him be wrong so he can be a better leader. See, as a black man, you got 2 strikes. And then you're swinging high on a low ball. You're already halfway out. If you don't allow him to make mistakes, how can he grow? If a man can't make mistakes and then come back better, because you know as a black man, we do it better every time. We are better at everything we do because we are the original kings of the planet. We are the original creators of every goddamn thing that you think society was created by this cracker. He is copying you. Woman, the world is at an end. Man, I have failed my exam. I have lost my job. I've got to have my hernia operation tomorrow or something like that. Man tries to put things into perspective to make her feel better. Men, you want to solve problems. He says, hey, look, take it easy. Exam's not important. You can retake it next year. You'll easily get another job. That hernia operation will be fine. Loads of women have it. Don't worry about it. Come on. Let's go take in a film. Take our mind off it. Come on, baby. Let's do something else. The world's at an end and you don't care. What do you mean by saying don't worry about it? This is important to me. And all you can do is to say that it doesn't matter. You don't care how I feel. You see, the thing is, the woman doesn't actually want to feel better. What she wants is to be mollycoddled and to wallow in her misery. You tell me that I'm lying. You see, the thing is, no matter what it is, what did I tell you that she's faithful to? Her feelings. And no matter where she gets it from, if she's not getting it from sex, if she's not getting it from the TV, she'll get it from misery. Because it's feeling. It's a drug. Feeling is so necessary. She has to mainline feelings. She has to get a vein up for feelings. Brothers, you don't care about it. That's your problem. You don't empathize with the fact that this whole machinery does not operate like you. Forget it. I marvel. Every time she does something, I'm laughing. She's wondering, what are you laughing at? I'm just marveling at the fact of how, from what other planet you're from, whatever dimension you're from, how you look at the world. When you're feeling badly, what is it that's making you feel bad? Okay, there's times when I'm going to go in for it and say, okay, let's get to the point. What's the matter? How are you feeling at this point? Well, Try to get her to articulate. If it's going round and around and she don't want to get out of it, that's when you stand up and say, that's it. Enough said. No more conversation on the point. You want to wallow. And I'm not wading in that mess. Step out of it or I'm stepping off. And you know what? She'll like you for that. You took enough time, you hugged, you kissed, and then after a while it was it. That's it. That's enough. That's enough. Why is that enough? Because she wants to know that you are in charge. Because you're in charge of her feelings. Let her feel it. She's going to, she'll test you. The test. Are you still worthy of me? Do I still feel safe with you? I'm going to test it. I'm not going to know I'm going to test it because you see about 2 weeks before that day comes and my hormones are rushing, I'm going to test you. Do you love me? You must understand because my hormones are doing this. Not me! Oh, baby, it's all right. You know, feeling a little achy? Yeah, sure. Come here, give me your feet. You all right? Give me your back. All right? Everything's cool? Let's go someplace. Okay. Yeah. Flowers. Oh, my God, brothers. Magic. Magic. Little things, scarves. I mean, cute things. You know, because remember, everything is cute. Look for cute things. All right? These things keep her saying, oh, well, okay. He's still thinking about me. Remember that. Perfume, am I on his mind? The dress, am I on his mind? The rare moment you get that good head, am I on his mind? Oh, yes. Are you kidding? Are you kidding at the point where, you know, you're just feeling she's just sexual and she's just yours forever and ever, and then boom, she gives you that wonderful loving and everything. Am I on his mind? I'm going to make sure I'm staying on his mind. He ain't looking at nobody. He ain't thinking about nobody when I'm finished with him. These are some of the things that the sisters talk to each other about. Brothers, you're trying to find out what the problem is, man. You're saying, well, goddamn, what do I do? Well, okay, well, cool, I know what I'm going to do. No, I'm going to talk to you, brother. What is it? What does she do? She's constantly doing this, man. What am I going to do about that? That's, brothers, because you do not have control of yourself. You are supposed to make sure that problems don't end up where she can now take them on. If you are going to allow a problem into the sphere of your relationship, then you got a problem. Your job as a brother is to recognize when a problem's coming down the road and stop that shit then. If there's a girlfriend or if there's somebody around or if there's something she's doing that's making her feel bad every time she does it, end it. Put your foot down. Help her to see that this is destructive. Brothers, yourself, become more... What's the word, girls? Because you know what it is. What's the word?
Oh, I would just say mindful.
Yeah, mindful. See, that word mindful means put a whole lot of me in your mind. Yeah. Fill your mind up with me.
I did not
No, but it's all right. It's just fine because mindful I am. And he's right. When I'm in your presence, I have to be mindful of you. You see, I talk to my son and I say, son, how do you walk down the street with your girlfriend when you're on a date? Well, you know, walking, I says, you walk with her, you walk on the outside. Because if she's walking on the outside, that's the way the pimps used to tell the woman is available. You walk on the inside. What are you doing? Well, we take it in the sights. I said, no, you're not. I said, whenever you're walking, she'll talk and keep back because she's in the moment. You are a block ahead. You are a block that way and you're a block that way because you're looking for something. And when you're saying, boom, she's talking to us, let me say, come, let's go this way. Yeah. She don't know why, but you're doing your thing. She just knows she had a good time. She don't know that you were walking with her with strategy. saying, boom, she's talking about this episode. Come, let's go this way.
Yeah.
She don't know why, but you're doing your thing. She just knows she had a good time. She don't know that you were walking with her with strategy. Like I taught my son. Out of danger. And I used to, the way I walk with people, boom. Queen made me, what do you call it? I went to see Earth, Wind and Fire one time. And there was a crowd that started to just close in, right? And I said, okay, I can't have her behind me because I know I could lose her like that. So she's in front of me. And as I'm walking, I know how to strategize to walk. You're walking 2 and 3 people ahead. And as you're walking, boom, boom, boom. One time, as she was walking, somebody was about to fill the spot and knock her off. My arm went boom. The person stopped cold and she went, where did that space come from? Because I was watching. I was alert. That's who you are. You don't be there to enjoy yourself while you're out there in the streets. Streets is not for the enjoyment. You can take in the sights, but you're strategizing where you're going to take your woman, your precious commodity, the person that's supposed to be bearing your children, who could potentially be your wife, your mate. How are you going to protect that? How are you going to show her what kind of mind you have? Is it filled with the moment? Is it necessary? Because there's a whole lot of unnecessary shit in your mind. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, I'm mindful. Very mindful. What else? What you want, women?
No, I'm not saying no.
We know attention, right? What else you want? What's the substance that keeps you from your man? Or keeps your man from you? What is it that the man is not that he should be? Not a man. You're not a woman. I'm talking to the women. Come on, see? See what I'm talking about? You can talk about it with your girlfriend for an hour. But I asked for one word to sum it up. Authority. Authority. Because you are the leader in your home. Otherwise, you ain't nothing but roommates. And I ain't no goddamn roommate. I am the husband. I am the man. I lead this household. You are my consigliere. If I am intelligent and wise, I take your counsel because you know people and you could strip them faster than I can. What do you think about this? I don't know. Something about him. So I don't like what he said. There's just certain things about him. I said, oh, okay, that's it. I'm not going to even fuck with that. Because that's something that comes right from here. That's womb shit. That's a cue that you have that I will not listen. Bow down to it. That's how a man stays wise. He listens to the counsel of the woman and then takes everything into consideration and then makes the decision. And his woman is in line with that. If she is not, again, she's off someplace else and you don't have a home. You got a house with 2 roommates in it. Notice I hadn't gone too far from where I am. Right? 5 years later. You see this thing, woman? You don't care at all. I failed my exam. I lost my job. Where was I? Completely devastated. All you wanted to do was go see a film. All your good intentions are plugging your face and this is everything. Now, it is true that men can also prefer to wallow in their misery. Yes, it does. But usually nowhere near the extent of the woman. But the big difference between the genders really comes to the fore in the later years. The men will have forgotten about these incidents, their miseries, whereas the women will not only remember their own versions of them, but they will continue to extract an emotional price from them. You will hear it until the day you die. She will bend over the coffin and continue the conversation. All right? Now, the positives of the feminine gender. Communality, cooperation, creativity, industriousness, nurturing, accommodation, visual thinking, unconditional love, consideration, receptivity, diplomacy, gentility, giving, caring, harmony, and beauty. Brothers know what I'm talking about when the woman is looking beautiful. And she is open and she's courteous and she's into her unconditional love. She is serving you. A woman does not feel any better than when she's serving you. Don't let her believe. If she is, she's a lazy ass woman. And leave her alone. Woman don't want to do dishes. She don't want to clean. She's nasty. Leave her ass alone. That's how your children don't look. A woman is supposed to be the epitome of hygiene. She has to be so goddamn fastidious that every time I look around, she's cleaning something. Okay. She has to be like that. And if she can't cook, tell her go learn. Learn to cook! Learn to cook! I don't cook. And that's supposed to be a badge of honor now that women don't cook. That's bullshit. When I came up, you didn't cook. You wasn't no work. Damn. And your mother and your grandmother tell you that. What a woman who can't cook take care of children, take care of her husband. My mother came from a family of 15 children. 15 goddamn children running around the house. My grandfather, you should see him. 15 children. Proud of it. Do you know that he ran the outside and she ran the inside? After Sunday breakfast, she would gather the girls together for a man management class. Hear me now. A man management class. Did anybody's mother teach them that? No. How do you know how to take care of a man? Has anybody taught you? Have you sat at the feet of your grandmother? Has anybody... Tell me some woman here that sat at the feet of their grandmother to learn anything. Woo! 1 out of what? 90? Have you sat to listen to the wisdom of the womb? Not the dick wisdom that you think you got out there with a career. Do you know where the word career comes from? The word career comes etymologically and epistemologically, comes from the word combat. So every time you go out for a career, my sister, you're going into combat. I'm just as good as a man. I can do that. I want to play football. I want to be a pilot. Well, then what you're doing is you're putting men out of work and you're making men a redundancy. Exactly what's happening today. Women are doing men's work and men, essentially, are the ones who are supposed to be breadwinning. You wonder what a family is? You're losing your family because you're doing the men's work. Why? Because there's no men around? Well, yeah, men are around. There's no good men around. Yes, we are. We're here. There's a lot of good men, but today, kind of man, see, Oprah wouldn't marry a carpenter. But if I make $1 million, they wouldn't care if I had to go down. Well, you need to go ahead and marry a girl. She's a cocktail waitress. Wouldn't give a damn. She'd be a queen overnight. But it isn't in the nature of the black women you see out there. Same with the black men. It ain't the nature of the black women to go back and get a hard-working man. Because that ain't the kind of man you want. You want them good looking. You want them looking a certain way. You want to feel a certain way based upon what the society has given you as the program for what a man is. But you don't even know what a man is. What's a man? That's a good question. What is a man? Oh, damn if I know. Let's ask today. What do you, as a queen, what is a man? Oh, Lord, I can hear trouble. Now, y'all feel safe right here. It's all right. Y'all have my permission. You're with your man. You can talk anything you want. If he does anything, says anything, you call me. You, to whom you are, what is a man?
Provider.
A what? Provider. Protector. Warrior. God. Oh, God. Come on. Hey, she hit it. Go ahead. Decision maker. You give me everything I gave you. Dig deeper. You tell me what a man is, because you've seen all the superficial versions of him. I know all you hear are these higher metaphysical thinking people. What is a man? Look at you. You can't even answer me. Creator. You're giving me all the pat answers. Sisters, you don't even know yourself, do you? So how do you know what you want? And why would you get pissed off with what you got? You didn't know from the fucking beginning what you had, what you want. What's a man? If you can't define a man in your head, how are you, in all of that creation, know what you got next to you? You just know he look good. He sound good. He smell good. He taste good. He kiss good. Lord knows he make love good. He's all of what? Things to do? What are you trying to find inside that man? Brother, what are you trying to find in that woman? What are you looking for? No, okay, sisters can't answer. Brothers, what is a woman? And don't be funny. What is a woman?
Part of you. Part of you.
Part of you. Consola. Consola. Nurturer. Completeness. Whew. I felt that one. As you think that you back here, you can get away with it. You just you're in the cheap seats. They only pay like $2. You don't have to say nothing. Brother, what is a woman? How do you identify a woman? Who do you have to sit next to you, bro?
Woman.
The woman?
Yeah.
Who is she?
She's gonna be the mother of my children.
But what is she? And this has got to be easier for you, brothers, because you're into the metaphysical, the intellectual. You can give me all the words.
Well, she's going to teach my children, isn't she? She's going to be the teacher.
Future. Ah, okay. I got that. My future. See, that's the secret. See, sisters are taught from the time that this high that we want this. Because that's why your mother's telling you, don't you go out there dressed like you better put this on, you better not, no, you're not going to wear that. No, because they know this is where we're going. As a man, you don't understand that you're trying your best to do what?
Continue.
Continue. See, your nature is to continue. She knows that. So she has to know whether or not you're worthy of this. Because this is where she thinks from. Not here. Here. So she's saying, okay, let me see what you can do to provide for me. Not only my feelings, but my wealth, my things. Do I look pretty when I'm around you? Do I feel pretty when I'm around you? Do you give me the sense of security? Can I trust you? Big word. See, I didn't hear that from the sisters. Trust. Can I trust you? So, Mama shoots up. Well, Mama tells you, well, what does he got? You got that too? You got a job? Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Making good money. You can take care of my daughter. Mm-hmm. You can do that. And see, we have to continue. The sperm is saying, I must continue. Good friends will go to dirt blows over a womb. They've tested baboons in the wilds. Good friends, they come up grooming one another. You know how they be doing all this on the other? Good friends. But as soon as estrus comes up and it's time for the heat, they'll kill one another. Because the individual sperm